T-minus 1 minute.
Welcome back to day 3 of the European Touch Championships. It's getting into crunch time in the mixed open. A big game here between Ireland and France. Theo Edwards alongside me. Ireland will tap off here. France really hopeful for this side.
Yeah, and they've forced an error straight off the tap. It's going to give them a massive boost. See if they can roll down to the 7 and get into their line attack.
They do head straight to the box. Early changes into their attack. Nice ball off the deck. Here's Richardot. Opening up early here. Straight to the left-hand side they go. What a start for France.
Yeah, really nice finish in the corner there. Looking to run that middle sweeping round onto the link side. Ireland not wanting to come up and make the touch, but France just run it with such pace and power that it doesn't matter that they're in a man-on situation. Looks like we've got an injury on the try line. Just hoping that she's all right. We should be able to get back underway. She's back on her feet, which is always good to see.
Back underway. Early misstep from Ireland. Let's see if they can do better here from half. Really important aspect of the game. This restart, hoping to go tit for tat with the French.
Yeah, the French, we know how potent the French are in their attack, given the amount of tries they've scored, but Ireland definitely have the attacking power in there. I think they put 6 past England yesterday, and that's definitely not an easy thing to do.
No, not at all in this quarter-final stage. Semi-finals on the horizon in what is perhaps the most competitive division here at the European Championships.
Yeah, it's a proper race to the finish. I think in both mixed divisions here, you got senior mixed and mixed open. You got France, Wales, and England all looking for gold in this mixed open division.
Over goes Rory Lever. Sent back to the 7. Lever. What can he create here for Ireland? France get up tight. Lever backed onto the inside channel. It's great defence. Tim Hogan caught.
Yeah, created an overlap there, just didn't quite have enough to get it out to where the space was.
Perhaps now is the time to go wide. It's been put down. That would have been some take, in all fairness, by the man at link for Ireland on this occasion, Alexander Cassidy. France need to come back here. They're on home soil. They brought their own gazebo, Theo. They're really up for it.
Yeah, they really are. They're targeting this division as one to go out and come out on top, and they've looked really, really sharp so far.
Little break through the centre, quick pick up. And then over they go in the corner. Is this a second score for France? It's been given. What a start. 2-0 they lead.
Yeah, really nice flow coming out the box, looking for that far side middle sweep onto the link channel again. And it's just a foot race to finish. It's a very clever play. They play to do off the back of their transition, compress Ireland towards their box while they get their subs on, and then sweep back into the really massive channel that's left.
Maxime Poirier, who's been fantastic, picks out Tom Perronin, and France are up by 2. Oh, it's just clattered off a French body there as they were looking to retreat. I think that Henri Duflor might be penalised.
Yeah, it's just I think it's less about the fact that the ball hit him, more the fact that he got himself on the wrong side of that ruck and just ended up interfering with the play a bit too much.
Ireland need to go tit for tat here. They dive over, but it's a good stop from France.
Yeah, one thing I've noticed is France are really, really good at getting their links active, both pre and post touch. They get them up to disrupt the play, and and cut off any space that Ireland might look to exploit.
Over the top from Curran. Good tracking from France. Was the touch made? Lovely footwork in that far channel, but Ireland kept out. Curran throws the dummy, looks to go himself, and then the long ball doesn't quite work out. France restart with the tap penalty. Well, we're almost 5 minutes into this game already. The start of this contest has flown by. France lead by 2. Switzerland are playing a quarter-final against Italy elsewhere. England still in the contest, of course, as perhaps the favourites. You'll be heading off to watch your sister play in a few moments.
Got to support the family as France win a really nice repeat set there. It's a good hallmark of their game that they get, and you see this across all the French teams, particularly the men's and the mixed, that they get a real hard flow on as they come up this box side. They like to move the ball to the box early if they can, and then they just power through teams, and it's paid dividends for them there, winning their repeat set.
Ireland come off worse for wear, though. I think there's going to have to be a change here, unfortunately. Just a slight muscle injury for Darren Curran, which is a shame. He's only really just worked his way into the game, looked really sharp.
Yeah, it is just a collision coming together, and kind of one of those unfortunate impact injuries that you can't really prepare for and you can't do too much about.
Dummy from France, laid back though by Aldrich Nicole. Lepihan. Nicole. Hard touch, trying to delay French momentum. Clément Ballet. And then Nicole whips it wide. It's a good take, but it's a good touch as well by Ireland.
Yeah, it looks like both teams are running this kind of what you'd call a pocket defence. Ireland in particular, they're sending their middle on their girl link side, and then their boy link really nice and high to go and make touches. And that can work for them.
Another dart down the left-hand side. As
you see, that's the risk of overworking pre-touches, that post-touch your positioning's not quite as good as it could be. You know, that middle's having to work nice and tight to cover 2 channels, which pulls his link in, and then she has to cover a lot of space on the outside there. So smart play from France to identify that the outball is the option in that case.
Aldrich Nicole, great work. France have 3. Carried on by Serge Broughton. He needs to have a big game for Ireland here. Broughton. Matt Geralt. Broughton again, he's caught.
Yeah, they've got a really good mid pairing out there at the moment. You know, Serge has got an absolute ripper off both hands, so if he can get himself into the game and use those ball skills, you know, they'll be a rare weapon for them.
The France shut them out again here. Ireland down by 3. I mean, even at this stage, Theo, it's a long way back.
Yeah, it is. As they give away what you'd almost call a decent penalty there, for one player really compromised, missed the ruck, and actually allows them to reset the defensive line. They've lost too many yards based off it.
Here come France then through Ronan Richardot. Louis Bernard Tremelot. Bernard Tremelot again. Richardot takes it to the line, but evades the first touch. Richardot. Bernard Tremelot in, goes himself, and Louis Bernard Tremelot has another score for France.
Yeah, really nice work from France as they just flow into their line attack. Simple mid quicky, and just not enough tightness between the Irish middles there. Just trying to go a little bit too man on, and he just goes right through the middle of them.
Here's Lever quickly off the deck from Emmett Devon O'Byrne. Ireland have to have the next score as we approach the midway point of this first half. France are rampant. Hogan. Good pick-up, step from Cassidy, floats it over the top. Oh, put down by Sloane Rangatawa. Another famous name in Irish touch. There's a fair few Rangatawas coming through the system, but unable to cling on this time.
Yeah, nice pick-up, nice rip. You know, I think that is where the space will be for Ireland. I'd almost like him to only take 2 steps, run a little bit more laterally, and then release the ball, rather than coming closer towards his dumping player.
Poirier, another good pickup. The dancing feet of Maxime Poirier, and he's won a fresh set of 6. Just clattered off an Irish hand.
Yeah, we can really see what France are wanting to do off their transition. They're looking to move the ball as quickly as they can over to that far side edge, run the middle sweeping round, and then they're running pick up and progressions based off that with their different off the ball lines.
Liliane Guéguen, Maxime Poirier, missed pass over the top. France 5-star. In this opening 10 minutes, they've been flawless.
Yeah, you see the difficulty with running that pocket style defence is if your link is up and so far in that when the ball comes back off the strike, that the 3v2 is automatically there. You don't even have to create it. So there are fixes they could probably look to do, maybe make that middle work a little bit harder to get across and help them out. But you know, there's definitely ways to exploit this defensive system.
Ireland need to find their way through to the line. This game is quickly getting away from them. Their tournament hanging by a thread. O'Neill, great run from Noah O'Neill, but there weren't the right options for him there. Ireland targeting a couple of titles here in Vichy. Hasn't all gone to plan for them across the men's open and this mixed team, who are perhaps their strongest too. Lovely break, great acceleration by France. Camille Lecarlier de Veslu. Directing traffic, Clément Ballet. And then a dummy and a scoop through and another score. France on fire.
Yeah, a bit of an unconventional play there. Almost looked like a kind of middle sweep round the back, or wing sweep almost. It's kind of splitting all sorts of ways, but you know, it doesn't really matter what you do as long as you run it with pace, with power, and off the back of a good drive, and that's exactly what they did.
It's another score for Enzo Courtiat, one of the younger players in this French side, but he's had a good tournament.
Yeah, I think a lot of this side is made up from the really successful boys 18s team that they put out last year in Limerick. I was coaching the England boys 18s, and they took us to a drop-off in the gold medal match.
What a game that was! I called it as well. Alexander Leachel, who's over in the French men's open side, he scored in that drop-off, and then England came back.
Yeah, absolutely amazing game, and definitely had us on our toes after beating them 9-4 in the pool. They kept a lot of stuff in the back pocket. You know, they'd really worked out how to break down the defensive system, and there's a lot of those really talented players coming through at the moment. So
I think there was a Simon in there who ended up getting an assist or a score in the drop-off.
There's usually a Simon in there somewhere.
Here's Serge Broughton. Matt Geralt. Cathal Matt Geralt at half. Broughton can go. Ball on the inside. Slapped down by Maxime Poirier.
Yeah, nice work from Ireland there. They're starting to move the French players around a little bit more before they go for the strike, and that's causing France a little bit of worry in defence. There are gaps starting to open up if Ireland can look to exploit them. Matt
Geralt, Broughton, quick ball. Ireland's dancing through, and this time Broughton on the inside. He's touched.
Yeah, I think they'll look to start throwing the ball a little bit more expansive in the next couple of sets.
And indeed, immediately they go wide. But it's another stop. Great call there. Isaac Young caught in the link channel. Matt Geralt, Broughton opens up the space. Look at him go. And a little dink pass in the end for Isaac Young has Ireland on the board.
Yeah, lovely patience from Ireland. You know, they conditioned France. They went through their progressions, and really good read from half from Serge to see that number 7, I think that's Lilian, had turned his hips in towards that striking player. The space was against the grain, picks up and takes the option.
So Ireland have one back, 5 to go. They also need to start working on this defence and start shutting out France. Richardot, and then good run from Duflo. Bernard Chemelot. Over the top from Richardot. He loves the long ball, but that one is not one of his best.
Yeah, France looking to probably move the ball around a little bit too much in that set. You know, they looked a lot better when they just went direct, ran hard at the line, and striked with purpose and with power. And you can get into that habit of moving the ball a little bit too much and risk losing your strike and losing your flow. So, you know, they've got a balance to find there.
Great covering touch from Vele, but Ireland still come flowing forward. Ghent, wide it is from Ghent. What a pill. Ireland top down. That's 2 on the bounce. They are crawling back into this tie.
Yeah, really, really nice ball, and that all comes from the momentum that Ireland have coming off their box. That French defence is still chasing in towards the strike player, which means as he steps back, that defence isn't holding or isn't up in the channel. They're collapsing in. So, you know, as long as he picks his hole correctly, there's no chance of a defender recovering and chasing out for the pass.
France straight away back into the Irish half, back into the 7, and back amongst the scorers. Enzo Cortial has 2 in this quarter-final.
Yeah, France looking to go back to what's worked for them. It's that middle sweep right around onto the link channel. It doesn't really matter who we get the touch on, as long as that strike line is nice and flat, nice and wide, and running at pace. You know that you're going to have some success off it, and they've done that really successfully so far.
When you're trying to get back into a game, it must be so demoralising if your opponents can go and score straight from the 6th. They get at the restart. Here come the Irish. Misplaced pass. Start to see the pressure really tell here. Another penalty, this time against Ireland.
Yeah, that's all one from France's 1v1 roll ball skills. You know, they're attacking roll balls really, really strong. They're getting to the side. They're getting players in behind that ruck and obstructing the half, which means they're winning penalties. And so it all just comes down to eventually who wins the midfield, which comes down to who wins the roll ball. And France are winning that contest by a long way at the moment.
And they're up to the 7 again. Slapped down by Ireland. They'll have a fresh set of 6 here. Going to go from bad to worse for the Emerald Green. Richardot. Here's Montagnat. Ronan Richardot. Quickly off the deck from Montagnat. Richardot rips it wide. Lovely play. Ball back on the inside for Henri Duflo. But he's denied by Ireland this time. Richardot.
Yeah, coming back for a penalty in the middle of the field. Ireland not quite moving forward enough, and again, that's a risk when you run this kind of defence where you're trying to chase people across channels to make touches. It's that actually they don't move up quick enough, and if the team's good at moving the ball or moving themselves sideways, you can start to leak a few penalties, and as we know, three penalties and you lose a player for the remainder of the set, so it's not a situation Ireland want to find themselves in.
Good defence at the moment for Ireland. This time they look to slip through. Louis Bernard Tremolo. But Ireland keep them out again. And if Ireland fight back into this, that defensive set will be long in the memory.
Yeah, really crucial defensive set there. And you saw that they actually pressed with just kind of one lead defender. You know, France took the touch on them, and the other players were allowed to get good pre-touch and get off the line post-touch, cutting off the French space. So a little bit better defensively from the Irish there.
And I'm looking for one more before the break. 2 minutes to go to half-time. Whistle goes. Penalty against France. Ireland driving on here. They really could do with one more to eat away at this lead. Whip pass out to the link. And now to the wing. Oh! It was right on the toes of Rangatawa. And it was put down. It's a missed opportunity for Ireland, really.
Yeah, unlucky from Ireland. They ran that quickie set again, but they look to run the quarterback play off it, where the ball's fed to the dumper and straight back to the half. I think if that half gets the ball back, he looked for Link to try and go through hands. If he just floated that over to wing, but the French Link and wing had both collapsed on him, so it would have been a nice easy stroll in there. But they won't mind that. They'll be going back down the other end, looking to reset. Probably run the same thing again when the defensive behaviour presents itself, and they'll look to execute this time.
Here come Ireland through Cassidy. Broughton out there with Cathal McGerald. Broughton, nice footwork. Sent back to the 7. Broughton, can he be Ireland's talisman here? France have to creep forward. McGerald, eventually the penalty goes against Ireland. Tough call for them to take.
Yeah, Ireland's issue at the moment is that they're not getting enough strikes at the line when they get a repeat set. You know, they're burning quite a few touches to get yards, and actually, I'd rather see them strike maybe 8 out and get France chasing rather than them kind of resetting and slowing it down to try and get the perfect strike and it not quite come off.
Speaking of slowing it down, there's the buzzer. Ireland still looking to play. Broughton is caught, so that will take us through to the break. What a start by France, who came flying out the blocks. Might as well have been on the racing track just round the corner here. They were far and away the better side. Ireland improved before the break. 2 tries on the board and some good defensive work. But this quarter-final is very much painted blue with 20 minutes still to play.
Yeah, really nice from the French. You know, they haven't actually gone too deep into their box of tricks. You know, they've stuck to what works. They've stuck to that middle sweep going round onto the link, both off transition and on static line attack sets. And you can see it's really working for them. And their coaching staff will look to reinforce that's what's working. Let's stick with that. Let's not go away from our platforms. Let's not go away from what's worked for it. And at the same time, this is a knockout game. We're into the last stage of the tournament. They will have plenty of plays and plenty of different things that they're keeping for the finals, and they don't want to show as much of them as they can, because obviously England and Wales, they'll come back and watch this game and try and get an idea on what France are doing.
We'll be back in just a few moments' time for 20 more minutes of this huge quarter-final that France leads 7-2.
Ah ouais, bien sûr.
Voilà. Là, on est dans l'école ce soir, mais plus détendu.
Welcome back to the quarterfinals of the mixed open here. Theo Edwards alongside me. Theo, France flew out of the gates. A little bit disappointing really, because now the game is all about Ireland chasing.
Yeah, France, if you were listening to their team talk on this side, they were talking about just killing the ball on their side, you know, just completing sets, leaving the ball down in this corner, this near side corner for them as much as possible, make Ireland have as far as they can to go to that sub box to get their changes on. So it's all about game management now. You know, they've got a 5-try lead. Can they keep that? Can they not expend too much energy going into the knockout stages, but still go through strong?
Bernard Tremolo starting fast for France. Pick up from Richardot, scooting through. Can it be another? Richardot still looking for options. Good work from Ireland to scramble.
Yeah, excellent work from Ireland to scramble in the defence there. You know, half goes through. It's 80% of the time you're expecting there to be a score, but they did really well to recover there, and the Mirrors play was really good on that link and that wing side, matching the player and staying with them the whole way.
Broughton, good pass, out it goes from Young, and Ireland score first in the second half.
Be a massive boost for them, that getting a stop off the tap off, getting a really good rucking set, and then just a simple fly play, simple hands out into the corner, and a lovely score there. So they're right back in this.
Amelie Birrell with the try, and indeed we do have a game on here. 7-3, looks a lot better already. Le Carlier de Veslu. France with a new attacking pod. Nicole, Ballet, Nicole to this near side, Courtial, good stop from O'Neill, Courtial on a hat-trick, O'Neill gets him twice, yeah, good fight from the two youngsters.
Yeah, it looks like Ireland have made some defensive adjustments at half-time. You know, France have been running those out ball plays and trying to get that link one-on-one chasing across, but they've done some adjustments. They're reading it. They're seeing that it's coming, and they're positioning themselves really well to get the stop.
Loads of time for them to get back into this, and a bit of space opens up for the new man Alexander Cassidy. Cassidy continues here for Ireland, winding up the long ball. It's away from Birrell.
Yeah, it's a nice ball, but you'd probably like to see Ireland be slightly smarter than this. You know, we know how good France are when they get a roll on up their box side. So trying to kill the ball down by Ireland's sub box in that corner could be a better play for them to try and slow down France's momentum, although they're doing a good job of it at the moment.
Now here come France, driving forward from Ballet. And Perronin, here's Poirier. Perronin scooping through. There's plenty to pick out in navy and white. Perronin, great composure, but if anything, too composed, too casual, and Ireland just about catch him.
Yeah, just a diving touch on the way through, but you know, you saw the defensive position that Ireland found themselves in. You know, like 6 players facing back towards their try line as the strike dump comes in. It's a scary prospect from that roll coming on from France.
Cassidy to the box. Can Ireland grab another? They lead this half 1-0. Unfortunately, they were trailing 7-2 when it began. Great touch. It's a really good turnover, Theo.
Yeah, it's a really good defensive set from France. They're basically on halfway, so it's almost a tap-off set for them.
Here goes Vele. Vele again off the deck. Richardot. And now Bernard Tremolo. Louis Bernard Tremolo, late delay on the ball. And over goes Roland Richardot, but sent back to the 7. Bernard Tremolo, Richardot, what defence from Ireland.
Yeah, it almost seems like France are getting a bit desperate, and they really don't need to. They've got 4 tries on Ireland at the moment, and all they need to do is complete sets, take the time, keep Ireland in their half, because as their midfield defensive press is really, really good, they don't need to rush when they get down to the line.
Next job is the call from Ireland as they give up possession. Big chance for France here to re-establish some authority. Aldrich Nicole. Well, allowed to run there. This is slow ball for Nicole. Nicole. Courtial. Nicole again. Courtial, has he picked it off the deck? Just about. Enzo Courtial leaves it for Nicole.
Yeah, just got a penalty there, I think probably for an offside, but it almost seems like France are trying to run through different progressions here to practice stuff, which is it's an interesting decision. You know,
Clement Ballet, great footwork.
It's an interesting decision to start throwing out kind of trick plays and stuff, especially when they've got this kind of a lead.
Ballet, through he goes. Can they finally score? Third time they've scooted through in the second half. First time they've made it count. Is it Enzo Courtial on a hat-trick? I'm not sure. I think there goes the dummy.
Yeah, nice off-the-ball work from France to get free, but at the same time, you know, they've had to work for it. So Ireland have done a much better job of defending. Those pick-up plays were far too easy in the first half. So they're certainly improving, and they'll look to keep doing that as the half progresses.
Aldrich Nicole goes over to score. Ireland at the 7. They have to respond. Cathal McGerald. Broughton. Through the hands they go. A little bit of space for Young. Young! All the way through. And Ireland score.
Yeah, it's almost too simple. It's just a little bounce play, just in and away. Hands, and then they ended up with a 3v2 that is easily finished off without even having a strike dump. So, you know, a bit of a mix-up in the France defensive connection there, and you have to imagine that the middles are going to be looking at each other going kind of what's going on.
But France recover and quickly work their way down the park. They already lead by 4. They should have this game wrapped up pretty soon. And it's another try for France. It's a great bit of movement.
Yeah, I imagine what they're doing is using this game now they know they've got a big lead, and they're hopefully going to push on and win for them. They're looking to practice some extra plays that they want to pull out for the semis and for the final. So the 32 screen, as we call it, so it's a normal rooster or short line, but the chopping link chops one hole further over than you'd expect them to, and that half actually wraps around both players to create a passive line out the back.
Ronan Houchardot with the score, and France shut out Ireland down the other end. Just as crucial, Theo.
Yeah, stops as good as the score, especially when Ireland have looked so good in attack.
France over halfway. Poirier. Perronin. Poirier. Bright from France here. Perronin almost through. Poirier, great work. It should come for Tom Perronin. Great combination. Maxime Poirier eventually benefits, and it's double figures up for the French.
Yeah, really smart play to not just try and burn them on the outside. He sees a diving touch coming in and manages to get the ball down, so France can just scoot through and keep their momentum going. It's just good identification of the play there.
This is looking dire now for Ireland. They have to score. Every shutout is a step closer to the semis for France. O'Neill away! But he's been caught. Great defence from Charline Montagnat. O'Neill, and then wide from Ghent.
It like it was a really good roll ball from Ghent. He got it on the 7. He got a player in behind him, and we've seen how good his left to right is already. So you know, they'll be looking to ring the till on that, because the French wing hasn't quite worked out how to defend and how to get up and hold and cover that space.
Indeed, Ghent's earlier long pass for one of Ireland's score was pretty special, and almost pulled it off again here. Courtial, Enzo Courtial. Aldrich Nicole. Courtial, hat-trick. And the young Frenchman has another. Enzo Courtial, part of that under-18 side from a year ago in Limerick, stepping up to the mixed open and scoring a hat-trick on the biggest stage, the quarter-final on home soil.
Yeah, lovely little inside ball, you know, moving the play to the far side, running an outline and trying to beat the defence for speed, and then as they chase, gap starts to open up and a lovely little trail line ran by France there. But it does seem like they're not having it all their own way in the individual contest though at the moment. Ireland have really started to front up, and you know, that might be a little bit worrying for them as they go into games potentially against England later on and Switzerland, who we've already seen be very strong throughout this tournament. They'll be looking to try and keep their skills as sharp as they can.
And with 10 minutes to go, I think France can start to look ahead with this commanding lead and another shutout. Well, that fast start from France in the first half set them up brilliantly, Theo, and now in the second half, the weight of the result, I think, is just starting to weigh on Ireland.
Yeah, that's a much better drive from France. You know, two really nice clean roll balls, getting in front and getting to the side and actually behind the defender, earning the penalty, and that's really important this late on in the game.
France in possession at the 7, good ball into the path of Bernard Tremelo. Sent back by the Irish this time. Looking very composed here, France, with a commanding lead and 10 minutes to go. Henri Duflo. Bernard Tremelin. Lovely step from Richardot.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation that they find themselves in on the line. Ireland are persisting with that pocket shape, and actually France aren't really looking to break it down before the touch happens. They're not looking to move the ball and actually expose the pocket player. They're almost a little bit confused as to what's going on, and it seems like the disruption from Ireland's doing them a lot of good, although they have conceded a second penalty in a row. It's going to be interesting to see if they change their tactic or if they stick with it and just try and refine and keep their discipline.
Fresh set of 6 for France. Bernard Tremelin put it down. A very rare error from Louis Bernard Tremelin. Can Ireland punish them? The momentum quelled, but not before the penalty is given away by France.
Yeah, it's interesting to see that there's still a long way to go in this game, and it hasn't been the most frantic and the most quick game that we've seen, and France are looking to get a little bit frustrated, a little bit tired, and they stopped kind of moving the ball and being as fluid as you'd expect from them. So England and Wales will be licking their lips looking at this, going, okay, if we get to a final, we know what we need to do.
Some frustration as France make their changes, but they do have possession back. Bernard Tremelin, Nicole, soft hands. France almost away down the left. Courtial, big dummy. Enzo Courtial, lovely play again. Clément Ballet, Nicole, Ballet. France go hunting for more. Nicole, Aldrich Nicole, plenty of space, but he is caught.
Yeah, looking to run the 32 counties play and just tried to step back to the short side. Now, we've seen this play on last a couple of times from France. It's almost like a kind of no-touch sweeper coming around the back to try and open up an overlap, and be interesting to see if Switzerland and England or Wales pick up on that, especially for if the Swiss get through their quarter, which you'd imagine that they would. These two are going to play each other tomorrow morning, and that'll certainly be a good game.
Racing away go Ireland, though, looking to make changes here. Courtial catches his man. Good to see Darren Curran back onto the field, but as I say that, he's gone down again here. I mean, it says a lot about his ability that Ireland were desperate to get him back onto the pitch. I'm not sure he'll be able to continue. And that's a shame, having just seen his great contribution. And he's deplored off the field by all comers.
Yeah, it's a real shame for Ireland. He's been a real bright spark, especially in their attack, and we'll just hope that it's not too serious and that we might be able to see him later on in the tournament as well.
France make their changes in the meantime. They still lead 11-4 with 5 minutes to go. They are surely through to the semi-final. Poirier. Good line from Liliane Guigan. But the ball goes loose. Where are the options here for France in defence? Looking to close down Ireland. O'Neill almost away. That's a great touch.
Yeah, the France are you know, there's a lot of emotion still in this performance. They're really wanting to make a statement here, and you know, there's a lot of fight behind all of these touches, and you know, it just shows how passionate they are and how much they're taking this division as one to really go forward and win. So, as I say that, there seems to have passion seems to have cost them a little bit. It looks like what's going to be a penalty for a little bit of chat, as Ireland get an opportunity to go down to the 7 and put another one back on the scoreboard.
4 minutes to go. Hogan. Cathal, Matt Geralt, Hogan, Matt Geralt. There's numbers over on the right, almost a brilliant grab, but just gets away from Amelie Birrell.
Yeah, so it's unlucky there. You know, the nice quickie setup, probably a little bit too close to this side of the field, and so not allowing themselves the space to ball play into the 4v3. And you'd probably like to see them go a little bit more direct at the line. Like, I haven't really seen Ireland go direct, and their main threat's been their ball playing. So France have obviously going to want to adjust. They're going to get a bit wider, which means the space is going to open up between players on the dive.
Turnover. Matt Carroll goes over. Wins a penalty at least. A little slow to get started here, but we're back with Ireland again. Matt Geralt wants on the return. Broughton caught.
A lot of experience in this French coaching box. I believe it's one of the Prasad brothers over from New South Wales in Australia, and he's telling the French, when you get a turnover, walk to the mark, take it nice and steady. There's 3 minutes to go, and they're going to look to take as much time as they can, make everything nice and clean, and go into the next game with a kind of a clean slate after these last couple of minutes.
Bernard's touch was poor. It wasn't a nice ball for Ireland, a bit of a missed opportunity maybe. Straight through for the hat-trick. Ronan Richardot.
Yeah, that's going to do them a world of confidence. You know, they've had a couple of shaky drives off their line and a couple of little iffy roll balls, but to get that roll on and just punch straight through them like that, that's really excellent from France, and they're gonna be really happy with that set.
The game's been wrapped up for a while, but Richardot's still keen to add more. It's 12-4 now.
Yeah, you know, Ireland are really not short of attacking opportunities. Like, they were very close down on the line just before that try. That if that link ball was the right option, if that link had been running her line maybe a little bit flatter, a little bit tighter, probably would have been a score. And hopefully Ireland can make a statement in the last couple of minutes of the game.
Can they finish with a bit of a flurry, even if the semi-final has got away from them, as they will surely lose this quarter to the hosts.
Begging for a try there, an absolute right foot whack from the Irish number 7.
Young gets the ball away. This should be the score that caps off Ireland's performance. Not enough to take down the talented French side, but a good finish. Isaac Young with a big ball, and then it's the man who dumped it back, Rory Lever, who gets over. Yeah, good reach from him.
Saying earlier that Ireland probably have a little bit more success if they look to go direct at the line and start to attack players more directly with diving scores, and that's exactly what they've done there. France pulling a little bit too straight, competing a little bit too much, and just gets beaten to the line there.
Good deception from Clément Ballet, and wins the penalty.
Yeah, it's all come from the roll ball there. Really good skills to get in behind and prevent that defender from getting onside in the roll ball.
Here we go, one last dart for France. What a delay on that ball. As he was collapsing to the deck, Aldrich Nicole gave the pass. It won't end up in a try for Astrid Vele because of a good covering touch, but again, that's really creative from France.
Slightly too late, I think, on the delay, but yeah, really nice, and also amazing skills from the winger to catch that inches off the floor and get it down with control. Is, you know, some of the skills we see from these mixed wingers are absolutely top notch.
The hosts are through to the semi-finals here in Vichy in this mixed open category. They're coming for plenty of titles, and this very much amongst them. Theo, thanks for joining us. I'll let you head off and enjoy England's game elsewhere, but France, a tough opponent for whoever they face in the semi.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd expect it to be Switzerland based off their form in the tournament so far, but you know, Italy not wants to be counted out. But both those semi-finals are shaping up to be incredible games, especially as you'd like to think that England and Wales both get through. In that case, it's an England-Wales semi-final and a France-Switzerland semi-final, so it's going to be a really, really exciting knockout stage.
Well, let's find out, because the Swiss are in action next. But here on pitch 2, it's France 12, Ireland 5. They're through to the semis of the mixed open.
Ouais, non, je peux te mettre dedans.